Okay.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, it's Big Legend, homie.
If you're tired of the narrative always being changed, I'm here to correct the narrative. Keep that real honest talk. Real talk. No yes men over here. I know you Italian news telling any wrong narrative, pushing the wrong agenda. Well, Twinsinc, we're going to try to aim to fix those narratives. Give everybody a better understanding. Let's go. All right. Welcome back, people. How you doing today? It's your boy Twinsinc. I have a wonderful, beautiful, special guest on the show today.
Hi, everybody.
I've been known as this wonderful person for a while. I'm going to give you a quick introduction first before we jump in it. You know, I wouldn't give you roses right now while I can. You know what I'm saying? I want to wait till later on down the road. Get you why early in the game because this young lady here, she about to blow up people. Her name is Sheraton. Some people like Sheraton Gatlin. And a lot of people that do follow both of us know who she is, but some people out there may not know who she is. But I'm about to give y'all a little background. We're about to get in this little interview dialogue, and we're going to chop it up today, okay? So before we bring her on, I'm going to give her her background real quick, okay? So first off, Sheraton Gatlin is a published makeup artist and a rising star in the makeup and beauty industry. She achieved countless accomplishments and has worked with noted filmmakers such as Jasmine Berkey, celebrity actors such as Richard Tyson of The Kindergarten Cop, and Trey Chaney of Kendrick of Bounce TV, Saints and Sinners, and Poot from The Wire. Just to name a few, as an international and celebrity makeup artist, Sheraton is quickly becoming a household name that you won't soon forget. Everybody, let's go ahead and welcome Sheraton to the show today. How you doing today, Sheraton?
Hi, everybody.
So, Sheraton, first off, I just want to say, I didn't read through the whole book yet, but I definitely read through your part.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And first off, people, so Sheraton, she wears many hats out here, and some of y'all may not know this, but she's now an author as well. And I think is this your first book published or second book published?
This is the first book that has been actually published.
Okay, so this is her first book that she's published.
Yes.
It's called Pray, Slay, and Collect. And she was a co-author with a bunch of other queens on this book. Mm-hmm. And fellas, this is a good book you need to get too. It's not just for the ladies. It's fellas, you can actually learn something in here, okay?
Yes.
Because I've learned something. So, Sheraton, before if I go in and just ask questions, there anything you'd like to say to the people out there who just don't know you or getting to know you right now?
Well, first of all, I definitely want to say I'm happy to be here. I definitely appreciate you asking me to hop on this platform of yours, which is definitely a blessing as well to be able to come on and share talents and gifts with the others that are out there as we are all pretty much still quarantined as well. So I definitely just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I do appreciate it. And everybody that is tuning in. I really don't have much to say, I guess, at the moment. We'll see what you possibly ask me. And then maybe anything I don't touch on, if there's anything left that I can share, then I can definitely drop that.
Not a problem. That is so awesome. So first off, people, if you've been following me on my show, Twinsinc Talk, you have noticed the last episode show I did was back in early April, and it was talking about the time that we're all being home on this quarantine time and taking this time of getting to know yourself, business opportunities, relationships, all that. Well, this young lady here has been on fire ever since she's been, work from home. Now, both of us work for the same company, but we're not giving them a shot because they're not sponsoring either one of us. But but we're blessed enough to still have our job and still work, 40 hours plus, right? But
absolutely.
But in the spare time, between time that we have, we're still working our business. And this young lady has been on fire. Like I said, she is an author. She also is a makeup artist, and she has glam bags. She has lip glam. Did I miss anything else?
Lip balm, no.
See? Now,
I don't think so.
Now, I don't wear makeup, but I do know a lot of ladies, and I have a wife and I have daughters who wear makeup and stuff like that. So even though we're man, woman, two different type of, gender, of course, or what things I'm into, right? Because I don't wear makeup, but I still can refer other people to her to help her business grow. And one thing I always talk about on all my shows is that as far as young entrepreneurs and being Black, we first have to start internally, and that's with each other, support each other.
Absolutely, right.
So I bought my book. I didn't ask for no discount. I said, how much? And I sent her the money, and she sent that to me. Yes. I asked no discount or, hey, girl, you know me. We work. No, because I understand we're in the business. So I bought the book, and I read it, and I read it a few times, and I definitely got some questions.
Okay, let's see what you got.
So before I get into the book, right, like you said, this is your first co-host book published. You have another one coming, and it's going to be what? Tell us about that book real quick as well.
So Praise, Play, and Collect is the first collaborative book that I was able to participate in. The publisher of that book, shout out to Minister Nikita Davis, Jesus Coffee and Prayer. She has her own publishing company, so she's actually published 27 plus best-selling books, and came and helped these best-selling authors. So she actually asked me to be a part of this project. She started as a client of mine. Speaking of which, in terms of investing in businesses, I actually went to her to do her makeup. And I was actually doing her makeup then for a book launch party. Wow. And she ended up actually asking me to participate in Praise, Play, and Collect. She said that she just pretty much saw like my work ethic, that I was professional, just the energy. And so she asked me to be a part of that book. So I did Praise, Play, and Collect. And then she ended up dropping Boss Mom. And Boss Mom was on pre-order Mother's Day. So I'm also a co-author in Boss Mom. So that's my second collaborative book. Outside of those two books that have manifested, I was already writing my own book, my own personal book that I am solely the author of. So that one is Bitch Grab the Wine. That should be on pre-order very, very soon. I haven't actually released a date, but that one very, very, very soon. So that will be then the third book as far as an author.
Wow, look at you on fire. Yeah. Man, burn my hand.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a blessing.
So let me ask you, so what inspired you to start writing? Because once again, from me knowing you personally, you've been in the makeup and beauty industry, right? So I know that's what you've been doing. And all of a sudden now, boom, books. I'm like, wow, where did this come from? So what inspired you to start writing?
See, so The Bitch Grab the Wine, which is the third book that will be launched, that is my personal story. Okay. And a lot of people see me working and they see me grinding. They know that I have a son, but they don't know my story. Okay. And a lot of people can only assume that they know your story, but until you pretty much give it to them raw, they really have no idea. And going to work, especially with the corporate world, you're not going to see everything of that person. You're not going to see what they've been through. You're only going to see what you see, what's in your face for face value at that time. Right. So, I was going through a situation just with my son, because I don't know if some people don't know, some people know, some people don't know, that my son doesn't actually reside with me. He used to, but now he actually resides with his dad. And nothing, major or being an unfit mom or anything. It was just the timing, the schedule. I was working at that time at Verizon, or I'm sorry, we didn't mean to mention them, but working till like 11, 12 o'clock at night. Right. And it just wasn't working out. And so I ended up allowing my son to go ahead and go back to stay with his dad. And I just dealt with a lot of, pain at that time. Just being a mom and being separated from your child, especially when you're an active mom and I think all moms of course, have this love for their children. Your children have an unconditional love for you. So it was just a lot that I dealt with, and I just wanted to finally put it out on paper and get my story out. So I ended up just writing, and I probably wrote for about a year or so before I really even told anybody that I had been writing. And from there, it just manifested. I went to one of my friend's house, and I was having a conversation with him, and we were just going to catch up, because I hadn't seen him in a while. And when I was going to tell him what had been going on, he was like, "Oh my God, girl, let me grab a drink. Oh my God, I need a drink for you. You always have a story." And so it just stuck with me when he was like, "I got to grab a drink," and "Girl, I got to grab a drink." So that's how I came up with "Bitch, Grab the Wine." So that's pretty much how that kind of ties in together. And so I want people to understand that when you read this, you're probably going to have to sit down and have a drink or two, just to see the realness of it. So that's pretty much how I came up with Bitch Grab the Wine, and how I really started just writing. Because I always said I would never write. I never was really interested in a lot of reading.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until I actually got older that I realized, okay, knowledge is power, knowledge is in the book. But prior to that, I would have never assumed that I would have been a writer.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's beautiful right there. That's testimony right there is what you're saying, really. So,
yeah.
So as I read through this, right, so you moved to ATL 2012, right? So what was your motive to move to Atlanta, Georgia?
So I can't give away everything in the book.
Okay, right. Yeah, give it a little snippet.
It'll be a part of my personal story, but a little piece. So I moved to Tennessee from Illinois because I wanted something different with the relationship that I was in at that time.
Okay.
And I was just kind of tired, and I always wanted to go back south, because some people don't know I was also born in Tennessee. So I was born in Tennessee, raised in Illinois, and then I moved to Atlanta. So I always say Tennessee fed me, Illinois raised me, and Georgia pays me. Is how it kind of goes.
I love it. I love it.
I wanted something different. I moved to Tennessee. In Tennessee, I moved to Murfreesboro, so it was nice, but it was still kind of slow.
Okay.
It was like a retirement town, or it was college students because of MTSU. So I ended up actually traveling to Atlanta all the time, because I had a cousin that lived here and a couple friends from back home. So I was always coming to Atlanta. It was only like 3.5 hours away. Yeah. So I would literally go to work on a Friday, have my bag already in the trunk, and get off and hit the road. Wow. So I kept coming to Atlanta, and then I finally was like, this is dope. Like, this is where I want to be. I think after that one walk through Centennial Park, I was sold.
Okay. All right.
After walking by the Georgia Aquarium and Coca-Cola, I was sold on Atlanta.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to try not to dive in too much of your personal book story you're going to go into. Okay. I'm going to try to stick with this. So, also, you said in here in the book that I'm reading now, or that I finished your section in, is that when you first got to Atlanta and you started walking around meeting people, men were coming up to you and saying that you're not from Atlanta, are you? You don't have that Atlanta look. I'm like, Atlanta. Now, when I moved here, me personally, I'm not the outlife or night owl person to go out clubbing all the time. So I don't know what that Atlanta look like. But I want you to explain to me when he said that to you, like, real life, like, hey, you don't look like you're from here. You don't look like an Atlanta girl. Like, what does that mean?
Right. I mean, I honestly think just over my time from the time that he made that statement to now and being in Atlanta, I think what he was saying by saying I didn't have that Atlanta look at that time, my hair was shorter. I didn't have long hair. It was blonde. I was definitely thicker. I just think the overall look now from then to now is, you expect all the small frame girls. You expect the big behinds or the big butts, and you expect the long bundles and the slim waist, and you expect, all the makeup. And, at that time, I hadn't even started doing makeup. So the makeup that I was doing was pretty much just what I assumed worked for me to make myself look nice. I actually ended up taking a makeup course and learning more of the basic and learning more techniques to get better at it. But at that time, I didn't have all of that. I wasn't wearing all the lashes. I wasn't doing that. So I think that what he was saying at that time is I stood out because I didn't have all of that. I didn't have the lashes. I didn't probably, and I think that some people, it's like after a while, some people assume like, well, everybody just looks like, so I think to have that uniqueness about you makes a difference. Like at one point, I shaved the side of my head, and people loved it because I just didn't look like everybody else.
Right, being
So
different.
So I think that's what he meant, by making that statement at that time.
Okay. One thing I think about Atlanta, because we're black, of course, it's the Black Hollywood, and people come down here to, like Hollywood, like people go to L.A., California to make it big, right? So kind of same thing here in Atlanta, Georgia, which is nothing wrong with that. When I moved here in Atlanta, Georgia, 2008, I was comfortable. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so when I moved to Atlanta and I see a lot of black people and black people in leadership, I'm like, wow, okay, so there is life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to feel in a box. So when you said, in your story here, you talk about more people are focused here. They're focused about their goals, their dreams, whatever they're trying to do, they're focused about doing what they need to do. So I was reading that, I was like, yeah, that's fact there. That's fact. So also, as I'm reading through it as well, you said, you made a statement here. You said hurting on the inside while the outside is shining. Can you elaborate on that? Elaborate on that a little bit, please. I mean, I know what it meant, but I want your personal thought on it.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm saying by that is like this, even when you do put in all this work, right? And you work on your body and you put makeup on, and whether it's men or women, whether you are, getting a surgery or whether you are constantly in the gym or whether you're just trying to focus on eating better, or you can do all of that, and all of that is great. But if you're not right on the inside in terms of just being happy with yourself, content with yourself, or finding just that own personal joy, or if you don't have mind, body, and soul, and all three connected, you can still be broken. Like you're shining on the inside, but you're still broken deep down on the inside,
right.
And you still have things that you haven't dealt with, because that's when you get into pretty much insecurity. And that's when you pretty much get into, even anxiety. Sometimes anxiety doesn't have to do with, I got to do this, I got to do that, in terms of a task or getting a job done. Sometimes it's, I got to do this, I got to go do that to keep up with the people, to keep up with the Joneses, or to keep up with what everybody else is doing. And you're stressing yourself out trying to, have the bundles and have the money, or, even going out in the nightlife. You can be a guy and you're trying to buy the bottles and you really just don't have it. And that's great that you're trying to impress the women, or that you're trying to impress everybody else. But if you're still broken, and if you're still damaged, and if you have things on the inside that you still haven't dealt with, are you really shining?
Facts.
So I think that's, so I think, that's pretty much what I meant by that statement, because ultimately what is on the inside comes out. And I think that when you have a person that's polluted on the inside in terms of their spirit or their thoughts, their feelings, you don't glow as much. You can see a girl or a man that probably hasn't been shaved, or a woman that doesn't have makeup on. But because they have so much joy and they're so happy and content with where they are in their life, like that glow is just the most beautiful thing. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't take all of that the way that we think it does, to really try to be beautiful, or to really try to glow, or to really shine or stand out. So I think that's kind of what I meant in the book when I wrote about that.
Oh, awesome. And I love the explanation on top of that. So 2012, you moved to Atlanta, Georgia. 2015, you finished your makeup school. 2015, you graduated from the, gymnasy? Yeah, that right there. Congratulations for that. But actually, not too long ago that, you created a business, and the name is so unique and beautiful. And I actually see that name up there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
VoirBelle.
Thank you. VoirBelle, yeah.
VoirBelle.
Like voila.
Like the name is beautiful. I think it's great.
Thank you.
So I think it's awesome, and I can't wait to see that name pop up on buildings or whatever, on billboards, whatever. So
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And tell the people the meaning behind the name.
So VoirBelle means to see or to behold beautiful. And basically it's just what it is. When I do your makeup or when I touch your face or when I enhance your beauty, which my goal is to just enhance the natural beauty that you already have. I don't want to try to transform you. I just want to enhance the beauty that's already there. So basically with VoirBelle, that means to see or to behold beautiful, because that's in the eye of the beholder. So what one person thinks is beautiful may not be, might not be beautiful to someone else. Like things can be beautiful in a multitude of ways. So basically that's it. Once I do your makeup and once I touch your face, I want you to be able to see or to behold the beauty within yourself. I just want to be able to illuminate the beauty that's already there a little bit.
Awesome. And also, I saw here that, your character is beauty. Your spirit is beauty. Mm-hmm. My heart and my soul, beauty. So the theme, like you found your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know exactly what it is, and you're speaking to it, and you're being it. Do you know exactly what part of your life or when you knew beauty was it for you? Not because people will say you're beautiful, but when did it resonate with you? Like, you know what, this is my calling. It might be tough right there.
I want to say more so with doing.
Uh-oh. Still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Say it again. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was always a person that, people will say that you're beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. But when you hear it all the time, it's kind of like, are you sure? Or are you serious? Or are you just kind of saying it because you think that's what I want to hear?
Right.
So in terms of, my purpose resonating with me, I think more so started with makeup and trying to bring out the beauty in other people. Because I would always say, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I only have a handful of girlfriends that I hang out with. But it was so crazy that my gift and my talent that to be stirred up wasn't around, that I would be around so many women. And I was, so it was different. And so when I kind of started realizing with those one-on-one interactions, how you can make people feel, or how the conversations that you can have with people. Like a lot of times, the most intimate conversations are taking place in the barber chair, in the makeup chair, in the
Facts.
hair salon chair, and you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like I get to hear a lot of things that people are genuinely sharing with me, whether it's a moment of frustration, whether it's a moment they had at home and they just want to vent for a little bit. Like you're really, something to that person in that moment, whether it's a listening ear, whether it's a counselor, whether it's giving them advice, whether it's just making them feel good for a moment. And so I think I really found my purpose when I realized that I was being put in so many positions to bless other people. It's not about just somebody telling me I'm beautiful and just me feeling that way, but it's about me being able to pass that on to somebody else and make them feel, that they're just as beautiful or just as great. I even had a friend one time that came for my birthday and I was doing my makeup and she's like, oh, do my makeup too. Like, I want to feel beautiful too. So it's like just realizing the impact that you can have on somebody else. You know what I mean? I think that's when I really was like, okay, this is like my purpose. Like people really look to talk to me or to have conversations with me. I hear a lot that I'm a voice of reason. I hear a lot that I'm a good person to talk to or I have good advice. I hear, a lot on how I just make people feel. So when you can kind of see that the beauty is not about what's on the inside, but when you can make somebody, feel beautiful because of their heart or because of their character or because of their mind or because of their soul or because of their spirit, those are the things that are intangible that people tend to forget. You can get with somebody that has a fine body. You can get with a man that's, all shaved up and he drives the Benz or whatever the case might be. But if that man is not right on the inside and vice versa for a woman, then, is it really something beautiful? No, beautiful is happiness. Beautiful is joy. Beautiful, it meshes together. Like beauty, it's not, it doesn't take that much, in terms of what's beautiful. So I look at it like that. That's what I pretty much found my purpose, just in terms of being able to help other people.
Awesome.
And it's not about, just profit, but really how you make other people feel. And I think when I had a client that I did her makeup, and she pretty much was in like tears of joy. Or when I was doing events that are for domestic violence or cancer events, and when you have people that are getting out of your chair in tears because of how they feel, like that's when I realized my purpose in all of this.
Wow, awesome! I love it. So let me ask you this. So first, I just want to ask a question. The name of the book again, people, is called "Pray, Slay, and Collect." And once again, she is one of the co-hosts with a bunch of queens on the book. This is the book again, so y'all can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back, you see all the queens that she worked with. So how was it working with all these queens with collabing to putting the book together? Now, I know y'all didn't sit down next to each other and write together, but I'm sure y'all had sat down like at a meeting. Hey, girls, let's do X, Y, Z, and boom. How did that go?
Yo, when I'm going to tell you, this has been the most amazing experience ever. It has been the most amazing experience ever. And that's just to be honest with you. Like, even though we didn't sit down in a room and write together, we still communicate. We still have chats together. And what's such a blessing is when you go into the book, I'm not the publisher. I'm just a writer.
Right.
So I don't know all of the queens that are participating. So when the book is finally released, and then you get to go in and see all these other queens that are in there, you may see some familiar faces, and some faces it might be new queens.
Okay.
And so when you go into the chat once the book is released, and now we have this chat and this platform together, you're getting to learn other queens. You're getting to see what other queens do. You're getting to see the other queens' gifts and their talents. You're getting to see what the other queens are involved in, and you might be able to benefit one another. So whether it's me doing your makeup, or whether it's you giving me life coaching, or whether it's a way that we can both share gifts and talents and do business and support one another. So I think that's also the amazing piece, with not only being a part of the book, being able to inspire others, or being able to monetize, but also being able to continue to grow and progress and meet other women that can be a blessing to you also. So I think that's what I enjoy the most about being a part of it.
It's interesting. So some ladies you didn't know, but soon you got to know them better. So it's kind of like a network thing y'all did together. And once they read your story and you're like, girl, I've been through that same road with you, y'all able to connect more that way, which is an awesome thing there. Wow.
I mean, connecting, and then also just we'll actually ask. So, hey, everybody, let's share what you do. You know what I mean? And then you get the because a lot of this is just a piece of what these women have to offer. This is a snippet.
Right.
This is not all of what these women do. I'm talking about, you have women that are real estate agents. You have women that are, like I said, life coaches, and like they do so many things. So this is just a piece of what's being offered. So yes, being able to network was definitely a blessing after the fact.
So let me ask you this, because most people who do write books, they have a good imagination. Not saying like making things up, but as far as storytelling, right? Do you see yourself in the future possibly writing a book, and also that book being a movie? Oh, is that something already in the works? You know what? That's something already in the works. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Okay. All right.
That is definitely something that has been put into the atmosphere, trying to manifest some things.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I manifested with you, claim it with you. Well, also, because she's also an actor, people, or actress. So she does a little bit of everything. I'm telling you, I'm glad that I was able to get this opportunity to sit with her, because soon, in a couple more weeks or a couple of months or so, I might be talking to her assistant like, hey, how's she? Oh, she's busy right now. Yeah. Oh, you know what? She's available July 1st. You know what I'm saying? So I figured, let me jump in, because she's about to take off. So at least I can say I got the exclusive interview.
I received that.
Hey, not wrong. I mean, once again, it's a prime example, as I said before. Take this time. Even if you don't create your own business, do something that's going to make you feel good about yourself.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just spend time with your kids, family, whatever it may be, doing housework, whatever. But take this time, because I don't believe we'll ever get this time again like this, to be home like this. You know, I'm praying and hoping that things get better, right? And will get worse. But there's no guarantee that we'll ever get this time back. So if you sit home every day doing nothing, you're wasting a great opportunity. And so
I definitely agree.
Yes.
I definitely agree. I mean, and I agree. I'm not saying that you have to, start your own business, but I definitely think that this time should be utilized to do something for growth, and something for progression in whatever realm that might be. Whether that be you working on yourself, whether that be maybe you're trying to better your relationship, whether that be you're trying to build a relationship with the children, maybe you're trying to become a better cook. So you can cook for your husband or your boyfriend, or I don't know, but whatever it is, I think that whatever it is, you should be tapping into that. It doesn't have to be, starting, because I think some people kind of probably feel a little pressure by seeing those memes. Like, if you ain't starting no business in this quarantine, you ain't doing nothing. It's like, it's not about that. I think that as long as you're doing something to be better, then you're doing something great.
That's it right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now,
and then,
go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead. No, I was going to say now, once again, you was a collective co-writer on this book, right? So you just jumped in, wrote your part, and then whatever happens, right? Now you're going now you're writing your own book. I know we're not talking all about the book yet, but you're writing your own book now. The process now, it's different now, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're starting from the beginning all the way to the end, and you're going through the whole process. So anyone out there who's looking to be a writer and get into the writing field, what tips can you give to them as far as, hey, I want to be a writer, I want to do this. What tips can you help them lead them on, if you want to share?
Anybody that's ready to be a writer, I would say just start writing. That's the best advice I got, is just start writing. Because you can't do anything else with no manuscript. So just start writing. Don't worry about what are you saying and does it sound right and did I put a period at the end and was that the right tense, and that's too much thinking. The biggest piece that I could tell anybody now is just to get it on paper. If you can at least just get it out, that's a start. Get it on paper, and then you can run and take off from there. And don't feel like there's a rush. I really understand now the concept of it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
Some people want to jump out there and they want to just take off. Writing, it takes time. I realized a lot of times that I couldn't even write in a certain state. I personally write better in an emotional state. Some people might write better, when they're happy, oh yeah, I did this today, I did. And me personally, I write better when I'm emotional. So whether I'm frustrated or when I'm going through something, or because I feel like that a lot of times as people, we put a lot of things in the archive.
Right.
The stuff that we don't want to think about.
Right.
And so I think that when I'm emotional, it kind of brings all those things back up, to try to get it all out on paper. So, but that's the best thing I can say is just do it. Just start writing. Don't try to think too much into it. A publisher actually told me to vomit it out. To vomit it out on paper.
I got it. Just let it all go. Just
start writing. So that would be my best advice. Is just to get it out.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking about my days in school and college, writing papers and going back and proofreading and all that stuff. So are you good with that? Do you write everything out, and then after you write it out, do you go back over it, or you get someone else to do it for you?
So I've done both.
Okay.
So I did write and get it on paper. All my books I've written myself. I didn't sit and tell anybody, and they wrote it for me. I definitely wrote it myself. And then once I write it, some people that really know me know that I'm OCD.
Okay.
So so it's kind of difficult for me personally, to just vomit it out. I am an organized person just in general.
Right.
So, but I do still, of course, make mistakes, and it has to be proofread and things. So even after I wrote, especially for my personal book, I still asked two of my good friends I've been friends with for years that are in business. One is in Arizona, one is in Chicago. I sent them the manuscript, and I got their opinion on the book and their feedback. the party that's helping me publish it is also a friend, so I had her read it. But then I'm also partnering with someone else in terms of marketing. So I had about 3 friends total read the manuscript, and then it's going to an editor. So I am having an editor look at it as well. I think it's good to still have an editor because they kind of can sense maybe what the readers want. They can also help you be a little bit more open-minded to just try to connect the dots.
Right.
So sometimes when we're telling our own story, we're like, we might miss something that a reader might want to say, well, what happened when she got in the car? Well, what happened when she opened the door? Just those little things that we kind of miss, or those little details that the reader might want to know. So I think having an editor just kind of gives a different perspective. So I think that's good. So I did a little proofreading on my own. I had friends proofread it, and I have an editor.
Awesome. So for our viewers who's watching live and also people who be listening on the podcast, where can they get the book from, their own special copy? Where can they get it from?
So Pray, Slay, and Collected is on Amazon. So you can get it on Amazon, or you can also order it from me directly. If you order it from me directly, then I can go ahead and send you an autographed copy.
Got
so if you want to reach out to me directly, yes, you can get your personal autographed copy from me. So you can send me a message on Instagram at VoirBelle, VoirBelle. You can message me on Facebook. My brand, VoirBelle, is the same on all platforms, whether it's www.VoirBelle.com, VoirBelle by Sheraton on Facebook, VoirBelle on Instagram. I'm VoirBelle on all platforms. But if you reach out to me and send me a message, even on my page, I have my business phone number. So even if you want to call or shoot me a text, because that's a mobile phone, just for business only, then I'll reach back out to you and get your order sent out. Payments are accepted in all methods. I can do Cash App, I can do PayPal, I can send an invoice, whatever way works better for the reader.
She is about her business, and she won her coins any way possible. No checks, though. Yeah. No checks. Yeah. 2020, we'll do checks. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with checks, but come on, people. It's 2020, you got PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. No. I'm just saying, somebody hand me a check. I'm like, what's this? What's this? Like, hold up.
I can only take checks from a trusted source.
Right, refund check or something. But
stimulus check.
My bad. So once again, you're doing a wonderful, and you should be a great example. I know, as you have a proud. I know your son. He don't know. He may know, but I'm sure he's a proud young man to have a mom like you who's on her grind like this. You understand what I'm saying?
I so appreciate it. He has no idea.
He knows
kids. I do makeup, but he has no idea about the books and the writing and all of that. He doesn't have a clue.
Don't worry. We'll make sure we have this video saved, and then in the future he can look at it. You know what I'm saying? We get a little mature enough. You can understand, like, man, my mom was grinding. Yeah, mom wasn't partying. She was working.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we have today for an interview. I mean, anything else you want to let the people know that I didn't ask a question or something that you want to get off? This is your time. This is your opportunity to say what you want to say. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I mean, I just want to say thank you. Like, I don't have a whole lot to say. This is new for me. Like, and I'm humble. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not coming out thinking that I just know it all. I got it all. But I definitely do look to encourage people as far as my process, my story. I do seek to inspire. But it's still new to me. Doing interviews, like, this is only the beginning. I want to claim that it's only the beginning for what's to come.
Right.
I would love to do like speaking engagements and things of that nature, or inspire younger children. Especially with me and my situation in terms of, like I said, my son and not being around him. And, once people grab the wine and can get a little bit more of that story, I do want to be able to rise up and be able to speak to others and inspire others and have engagements and things like that. So, I mean, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate, like I said, the platform to share, what I do, because a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people just see the final product. They don't really know, the work that you put into it. And like you mentioned earlier, with knowing us from having the same place of employment, a lot of people don't even know that I'm employed. They think I just solely do makeup. So
Right.
I'm just appreciative to have the opportunity to really share with people what it is that I do and how this actually all came about. And just to let people know, like, I really do try to put in the work. You know, I really don't expect anything to just be given to me. I'm blessed, the relationships that I have, the people that I've met, and I just try to utilize my resources. And some things, you know, God has just been like, here. So I'm just thankful. That's really all I have to say. I'm just more so appreciative, if
Awesome.
anything. So.
Well, once again, people, go and get the book, Pray, Slay, Collect. Once again, she's one of the queens on the book who's put their personal story on this. That's going to support it. I can see this group of ladies sitting at the panel at one of the women's event, and they is talking to everybody. You know, I envision this, and
Yes.
I can also see that, you know, when your book come out, I'm definitely gonna get that, and I hope to see that book maybe be in the movie. Just never know. We're claiming it right now.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the main thing I want to let everybody know is that do not let this time slip through your hands. I don't know if we'll be still home until July, whatever, June. Listen, start today. Once again, like she said, and we're both going to say, it doesn't have to be about business. It could be relationship. It could be your health. Health should be it since the Rona is going on. Your health should be number one. Health, of course, family. If you want to do a business, start. So whatever it is, do something now, because as of right now, it's like 30+ million people file unemployment. Okay? So as of right now, you know, any given moment, our company can say, you know what? We're letting you go too. So this is right now, we are creating these multiple ways of streaming income. I have my podcast. She has her makeup. She's an author. She's an actress. She does it all. Lip glam, all that. So just letting y'all people know. If you know, follow her. Follow her. You know what I'm saying? Talk to her. She might teach you something. Young ladies, you never know. But once again, thank you for your time on this wonderful Saturday. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
And we out. One love.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, that's a wrap today for the show. Please like, share, comment, share your thoughts. Email us at info@twinsinc.net. You can also subscribe to us on these multiple platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Castbox, Podcast Addict, and of course YouTube. If you want to see us do the live recording. So once again, thank you.